Hey guys, this is Aaron. If you're like me and you fly a KISS setup, even scouring the internet, trying to find a good video tutorial on how to flash your KISS 24 amp ESCs from version 1.01 to version 1.02, I found a good text tutorial on Oscar Liang's webpage, and I'll throw a link up to that on my page in the description. And he kind of steps you through on how to do it, so I'm going to just follow his tutorial and show you what I did. The cable I'm using is this USB to 6-pin adapter that I use for work. It's a TTL-232R-3V3, and I just found the pinout on the internet for that particular cable, and just threw some wires in the end of it that I'm going to solder onto my ESCs. Now when you do this, you're gonna follow the diagram, and just remember that basically TX from your cable goes to RX on the ESC, and RX goes to TX, so it's basically flip-flopped. A couple of the things you're going to want to get before you get started is you're going to want this Arduino software. You're going to need that, and you're going to need the STM32 software as well. So you're going to want to put those on your laptop before you get started. And I'll put links to those in my description below. You're also going to need this web page too, and I'll put a link to this. This is basically where you get the firmware from once you pull the information off your ESC. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and kind of show you what I did. So the first thing is to, what I did was I desoldered my ESCs from my motors. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And you're wondering why I got shrink wrap on there. That's not shrink wrap, because I've already flashed all the ESCs already, but I'm going to go ahead and go back through it and show you what I did. And then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to desolder my signal and telemetry wire off my ESC, just so there's nothing coming from my flight controller. And if you look here at the bottom of your ESC, and I'll put a picture of this on my computer. I don't know if you can see this, but there's these 3 tabs right here. The tab towards the motor is TX, and this next tab is RX, and then you just need a ground. So what I did is I took TX from my cable here, so I'm just going to verify. So orange is TX. So I took my TX and I soldered that to this RX pin right here. And then I take my RX and solder that to my TX. And then I just, for the ground, I solder that right to this ground here from my PDB. So once that's done, we're going to go ahead and plug in this Arduino cable. This UART cable, I should say. We're going to go ahead and launch up the Arduino software. So you're going to want to go into Tools, and you're going to want to go into Serial Monitor. If you haven't already done so, you're going to find your COM port that you've got on your computer. You're going to set the baud rate to this 115200, and then the bits is NL and CR. So then what I do is I just plug in my 3S battery to power everything up, and I'm not getting anything from my from my flight controller because I've disconnected that. And I should just be able to type info in this tab here. And once you do that, you'll see that you'll get this information from your ESC. So you're going to want to copy the serial number. You're going to copy and paste that. So then you're going to go to the Ultra ESC webpage, and you're going to paste this into there. And once you do that, you're going to hit Get Hex, and it's going to download your file down here. And you're going to want to take a note of where that downloads and what it's named. So once we do that, we can go ahead and unplug the ESC. We got our file. And then the next step here is to, once the power is disconnected from the ESC, is these two little tabs down here closest to the ground on the back side of the ESC is the boot tabs. We're going to have to go ahead and bridge those together somehow. I just use solder. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but once you get them bridged together, you can now, we're going to shut down our Arduino program. So we'll shut that down because we don't need it no more. And once we bridge these boot pads, we can go ahead and make sure everything's not touching. We'll go ahead and launch up our other program here. Now this program, when you go to the web page to get it, it's STM Microelectronics. It's going to actually have you sign up for an email link, and then it'll email you the program. So I go here and I go into this flashing GUI right here, and you want to make sure your settings are set up. And so you got your COM port. You want to set this to 57600. We want to be even. We want to be disabled, and we set this timeout to 1. And we go ahead and we're going to plug our battery back in, and then hit next. Now it's going to give you a warning that you're removing the write protection to your ESC. We go ahead and click next, and it's going to say that it's going to erase your ESC. We go ahead and say yes, and then click next again. Now here it's telling us what we're the target that we're going to flash, which is our ESC. Go ahead and click next to this. In here we want to select this download to device, and we're going to browse to where we actually downloaded the file. We're going to have to change this right here to hex. You're going to want to browse to the file that you just downloaded. So if you look, I already have some from the other day, but I'll pick this newest one because these firmwares are actually attached to the serial number, so you can't flash it to a different ESC. So go ahead and click next, select the file that we want, and then we're going to go ahead and do this this radio button for global erase and verify download. And if just double check the settings from our tutorial. So this tutorial is great. It walks you through everything. So yeah, here it is, global erase and verify download. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And then it's going to download to the ESC here. Get rid of this stuff that's in the background. So once it's done, it's going to verify the download. It's going to tell us that we're done. So that's it. That's all you need to do. So we can go ahead and close this out. We can power down our ESC. Desolder everything. Make sure that you remember for sure to desolder this boot jumper, because you're going to need to do that for sure. So I just hit it, wipe the solder off, and desolder this this jumper here, and then you can kind of put everything back together and move on to your next ESC. I hope this video helps you guys out, and